Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivara Dari Girivara Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivara Dari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Prabhupada Asatara Sadashi Srimad, His Divine Grace, the A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananda Guru Vaisnava Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Prem Segaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Samakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavandam Ki Jai, Shri Maya Panavidam Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi. All glorious some devotees, all glorious some devotees, all glorious some devotees, all glorious Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 26, verse number 21. Yastviha vai sarvha bigamastam amutra naraye var tamanam vajrak hantaka salmanim Avropya Niskarshanti. Please repeat. Ya. Anyone who. To. But. Iha. In this life. Vai. Indeed. Sarva Abhigama. Indulges in sex life indiscriminately. With both men and animals. Tam. Him, Amutra, in the next life. Niraye, in the hell. Vartamanam, existing. Vajrakantaka salmimalim, a silk cotton tree with thorns like thunderbolts. Aropya, mounting him on. Niskarshanti, they pull him out. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada ki. A person who indulges in sex indiscriminately, even with animals, is taken after death to the hell known as Vajrakantaka Salmali. In this hell, there is a silk cotton tree full of thorns, as strong as thunderbolts. The agents of Yamaraj hang the sinful man on that tree and pull him down forcibly, so that the thorns very severely tear his body. Ouch. Okay. Huh? Oh, it says pull him out. Yeah, pull him down would be better, huh? Okay, here's the purport. The sexual urge is so strong that sometimes a man indulges in sexual relations with a cow, or a woman indulges in sexual relationship with a dog. Such men and women are put into hell, known as Vajrakantaka Salmali. The Krishna consciousness movement forbids illicit sex. From the description of these verses, we can understand that, what an extremely sinful act illicit sex is. Sometimes people disbelieve these descriptions of hell, but whether one believes or not, everything must be carried out by the laws of nature, which no one can avoid. So there's not much I can say about this. I think we'll go to the next verse there. And then the next one also. A person who was born into a responsible family, such as a kshatriya, a member of royalty, or a government servant, but who neglects to execute his prescribed duties according to religious principles, and who thus becomes degraded and falls down at the time of death into the river of hell known as Vaitarani. This river, which is a moat surrounding hell, is full of ferocious aquatics, animals. When a sinful man is thrown into the river Vaitarani, the aquatic animals there immediately begin to eat him. But because of his extremely sinful life, he does not leave his body. He constantly remembers his sinful activities and suffers terribly in that river, which is full of stool, urine, pus, blood, hair, nails, bones, marrow, flesh, and fat. Whew. Pretty heavy, huh? Okay, next verse, 23. The shameless husbands of low-born sudra women live exactly like animals, and therefore they have no good behavior, cleanliness, or regulated life. You hear that? Cleanliness? Cleanliness? Think about that one. After death, such persons are thrown into the hell called Puyoda, where they are put into an ocean filled with pus, stool, urine, mucus, saliva, and similar things. Sudras who could not improve themselves fall into that ocean and are forced to eat those disgusting things. Purport. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevala Vishirabandha, Amrita Baliya Yebhag Kaya, Nana Yoni Sada Pire Kadarya Bhakshana Kare, Tara Janma Adhapate Yaya. He says that persons following the paths of karma kanda and jnana kanda, fruitive activities and speculative thinking, are missing the opportunities for human birth and gliding down into the cycle of birth and death. Thus there is always a chance, or always the chance, that he may be put into the Puyoda Naraka, the hell named Puyoda, where one is forced to eat stool, urine, pus, mucus, saliva, and other abominable things. Prabhupada was given a class, and he said during the World War II, the Germans, they were practically starving the Jews, and they were eating their stool. That's how they survived. It is significant that this verse is spoken especially about sudras. If one is born a sudra, he must continually return to the ocean of Puyoda to eat horrible things. Thus, even a born sudra is expected to become a brahmana. That is the meaning of human life. Everyone should improve himself. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 4.13, Chatur Vanyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagas. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, 4 divisions of human society were created by me. Even if one is by qualification a sudra, he must try to improve his position and become a brahmana. No one should try to check a person, no matter what his present position is, from coming to the platform of a brahmana or a Vaisnava. Actually, one must come to the platform of a Vaisnava. Then he automatically becomes a brahmana. This can be done only if the Krishna consciousness movement is spread, for we are trying to elevate everyone to the platform of Vaisnava. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 1866, Sarvadhamam Pratijam Mamikam Saranam Braja. Abandon all other duties and simply surrender unto me. One must give up the occupational duties of a Sudra, Kshatriya, or Vaishya and adopt the occupational duties of a Vaishnava, which include the activities of a Brahmana. Krishna explains this in the Bhagavad Gita 9.32. Mam hi partha vyapashritya yepi supapayona striyo vaishyas tata sudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Pratha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as Sudras, workers, can approach the supreme destination. Human life is specifically meant for going back home, back to Godhead. That facility should be given to everyone, whether one be a Sudra, a Vaishya, a woman, or a Kshatriya. This is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. However, if one is satisfied to remain a Sudra, he must suffer, as described in this verse. Tad eva tivi bhatsitam ashnanti. Om jnana tamarandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshram malitam jena tasmai Sri Gurave namaha mugram godavachalam Pangam nang hayate gurim yetkripa taraham vande shikaram dinataranam Avanchakalpatriyabhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So when I first read this, I was a little astonished. I couldn't believe it, that men and women have sex with animals. But when I was in Australia, one devotee, he told me that before he joined the movement, he had one friend, and his friend went home after school, and his mother was having sex with a dog. And you can imagine, just like, totally shocked. Yeah, change your whole life, you know, just to see something like that. So, yeah, it's, Prabhupada was walking with some devotees, and one lady had a dog, and Prabhupada said she's having sex with that dog. Yeah. Big dog. So, the material world is a weird abode. It's a weird place. So, yeah. So this chapter is actually pretty much of an eye-opener. You know, if anybody's ever thinks of leaving Krishna consciousness, just read this chapter. This will inspire to stick around. And it's not, I mean, some will say, oh, this is all mythology. It's like in Balboa Park, they have this group of atheists that set up every Saturday. And one of their signs says, "Hey, don't worry, just enjoy, just take it easy, just, don't follow these rules, just have a good time, They don't know. They're not aware that, they think it's just stories, mythology, but no, it really, even on this planet, there's very hellish situations where people are just, nothing to eat, or just very poor conditions, and nowhere to, it's like right here in PB, people are sleeping on the sidewalks, and sometimes people come by and harass, and there's one of the homeless people here that used to visit. He went to LA and he said all the other homeless, they were harassing him like anything. He came back down here. So it's just the hellish, So even on this planet it could be hellish. What to speak of the actual hellish planets. So after Parikshit Maharaj, he heard this chapter. Being a devotee, he asked, well, is there any way that these people can be, that this can be avoided, so that people can avoid going to this hell? And then we're going to hear the story of Jamil, who engaged in so much sinful activity, although he was born in a nice Brahmin family. But he named his son Narayan, chanted the names. So this is the way to avoid going to hell, is chanting the names of Krishna. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, 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 gatir anyata. In this age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way than to chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name. So this is how to avoid this hell, to avoid so many problems in the material world. Of course, still there'll be problems. It's the material world. Even Prabhupada, such a pure devotee, he had this, well, Shrutakirti was saying that practically every day there would be some other problem. He was diabetic, and so many health problems. But yeah, he's pure devotee, so he just overlooked it, just continued on serving. But this is the material world. So one of the problems here that people face is they lose control of their senses. This is the big cause of their future suffering, because they lose control of their senses. I was showing you all know that picture in the Bhagavad Gita, the 5 senses, out of control senses. I was showing this to one student, and it's on how the senses, they get out of control, and the mind is there to control. And the student said, "Why control? Why control? Let him go. Let him go." So that's the mood. Just you got the senses, just let them go. Enjoy. That's why they're there. Enjoy your senses. But no, the result is one has to suffer so much. So the human form of life means we control the senses. The animals, they can't control their senses. They don't know that. they should control their senses. And people that don't control their senses, then they have to suffer in the future. Also, we didn't know that it's important in the human form of life to control our senses, so therefore our senses also were kind of out of control. Then we heard, no, better control the senses. The human form of life means controlling the senses and engaging them actually in the service of Krishna. So by controlling the senses, we actually become strong spiritually. But if we lose control of the senses, then we become weak. Yeah? And if we're strong in Krishna consciousness, then at the end of this life, we go back home, where everyone is strong spiritually. Yeah. But if we don't, then we have to stay, and we have to, who knows, might have to go through this. Who knows how many times we've gone through this hell. We don't know. But, yeah, it's there. So Krishna, he's given us two secrets on how to control the senses. Evam bude padang budva sam sabhyatmanamadma jahi satrang mahabhav kamarum darasana. Krishna says, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, one should carefully engage in the Krishna consciousness and slay this formidable enemy known as lust. So, if we know we're not the senses, we're not this body, then we're not going to be controlled by the senses. It's when we think we are the body, we are the senses, that we become controlled, become servants of the senses. Kamarinam katina katita palita dorni desas tesam jata anyway. So Rupa Goswami, he says, for so long I've been the humble, menial servant for many bad masters. There's 6 of them. Yeah. Lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, madness. So this, sometimes I wonder, what is this madness? So these verses are explaining the madness. The person becomes so mad, they have sex with animals. That's madness. Yeah. Perverted madness. Not just mad, perverted madness. Just off the wall. So for so long, people have been servants of these bad masters. Especially, mainly lust. This is the main master everybody is following very humbly, trying to satisfy their material desires. And then when the lust isn't satisfied, then anger. One becomes angry because they couldn't satisfy their lust. Yeah. Lust, anger, greed. And greed, people become very greedy. But devotees also want to have this greed. Krishna bhakti rasabhavitamati kriyatam yadikatopi labhite tattalauyam abhimuyam janma koti sukuterna labhite. That this love for Krishna, it's not easy to attain. The only way one can attain it is by being very, it says, lauyam, greedy. Have a very strong desire. And wherever it is available, one should purchase it. Now, fortunately, Prabhupada came and he made it available. Otherwise, it pretty much wasn't available in the Western countries. But now, it's available for people. And as Prabhupada says in the purport, that we have to try to make it available to people, because everybody, the sudras, the yavanas, the malechas, everybody is meant to come to the level of a brahmana. That's the human form of life. But when Prabhupada was criticized so much in India because he was giving sudras, mlechas, not just sudras, mlechas, brahmana initiation, and they just because they're not aware of the whole picture of the Vedas. They just think that if you're not born a brahmana, you can't be a brahmana. You're just out of luck. Sorry. But no, it's not by birth, it's not by janma, but it's by qualities. It's the qualities that make one a brahmana. Samodhamastapashotam, shantirarjam, jnana vijnanam astikam, brahma karma svabhajam. Peacefulness, they're peaceful, they're not agitated by their senses, they can control their senses, not out of control. Self-control, they can control the senses, they can control the mind and engage it in the service of Krishna. Sarva parivanirmuktam tatpradvena nirmalam hrisikena hrisikesa sevanam bhakti uchate. That devotional service means to engage our senses in the service of the master of the senses. And there's two very good side effects of this service to Krishna. What are they? Huh? Yeah, specifically? Huh? Become free of designations, upadis. You become free of upadis, designations. This is a man, this is a woman, this is American, this is Indian, this is Chinese. They see the soul. No black, no white, no brown. They see the soul in everyone, no designations. And the other one, the senses get purified. This is the result of engaging in devotional service. Our senses become purified. The mind, to say that the mind is such a difficult thing. I was praying, there's Krishna is known as Madhusudana. He's the killer of the Madhu demon. So I was praying to Krishna, Krishna, please become Manasudana. Kill this rascal mind. Manasudana, kill. Sudana means kill. Krishna, please kill this rascal mind. It's such a distraction to our service to Krishna. Just change it, yeah. Transform, as Prabhupada, transform the material mind to a pure mind. The material senses to purified senses. So that's what this process is. It's a transformation of consciousness. From material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada, he once said that this process is so simple that you may miss it. It's so simple. Just like he said, chant and be happy. It seems so simple. Just chant. Chant Hare Krishna and you'll be happy. I was visiting Mahabharat yesterday, had lunch at this place yesterday. And his wife was telling me that she had this book, Chant, Be Happy, for years. And she was in her room and she'd look at it, chant and be happy. Come on, it can't be that simple. Just chant and be happy. And then one day she just sat down and read it. And that's how she became a devotee. She read that book. Chant, be happy. She chanted and she became happy. It's a simple process. But Prabhupada said it can be difficult for those who are complicated. We make it difficult ourselves. We complicate it ourselves. As Prabhupada said, over-intelligent. Over-intelligent. Yeah. We make it complicated. But it's simple. Yeah. Chant Hare Krishna, take prasad, chant, dance, sing. Huh? Association with devotees. Yeah, this is how we get purified. And then we don't have to see this hell. And Prabhupada mentions that a devotee is interested in trying to improve his position, his situation. Always be trying to improve. Like Radhanath Swami said, we should always feel that we're a bhakta, trying to improve. Always trying to improve. Never thinking that, oh, now I'm a big devotee. I've been around a long time, now I'm a big devotee now. I'm a senior devotee. The devotee never thinks he's a senior devotee. So then we retain that humility. Otherwise, it's so easy. I mean, to become proud. Yeah. In this society, devotees are naturally kind and generous, and they give praise very easily. But we have to be careful. Like there was this show, The Life of Brian, where it was Monty Python, I think, Monty Python, where he was. It was a depiction of Jesus, this person, it's apparently Jesus, and he's they're praising him and everything, but he was just Brian. He was just Brian. He wasn't anything big. Of course, it was kind of like a spoof on Jesus, Christianity. But of course, Jesus was a great devotee. But sometimes people get praised, but they weren't big personalities, and it goes to their head, and they think, yeah, I am. It's true. I am a big person. I am a pure devotee. But no, we should understand reality. We're very small, very insignificant. And Krishna, he's very, very great, and very significant. And the more we hear the glories of Krishna, the more we'll realize how small we are and how great Krishna is. And when we have complete faith that Krishna, he is the greatest, as he says in the Bhagavad Gita in a few places, he says that he's the greatest. The more we realize that, the more we'll want to serve this person who is so great. And this will be the success. Actually, this will be the success of our life, is to engage in loving service to Krishna. So maybe I'll stop there. Any questions or comments? Actually, there was one more secret that's given by Krishna on how to control the senses. Visaya vinivartante naraha rasimdehina rasarajam masopyasa param dvisa navartate. If we get a higher taste from serving Krishna, then we're not controlled by the senses. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense gratification, though the taste for the sense object still remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he's fixed. He's fixed in Krishna consciousness. So you got to pray for that higher taste. Krishna will give it, and there is a higher taste in serving Krishna. As we hear from Rupa Goswami, he says, "I do not know how much nectar there is in the two syllables Krishna. When I chant the holy name of Krishna, I desire to have many millions of ears to hear the holy name and millions of tongues to chant the holy name. And when the holy name enters into the courtyard of my heart, it stops all the activities of my mind, and I experience unlimited happiness." I like that. It stops the activities of the rascal mind. That's something to look forward to alone. And he experiences unlimited happiness. So that's a higher taste. He's got the higher taste. And Prabhupada came and showed us he had the higher taste. And so many devotees, so many nice devotees have that higher taste. So this inspires us to continue on, to see devotees that are getting it, they're getting this higher taste, so there's hope. I can also get that higher taste. So, any question or comment? Yes.
Allow me.
Yes, yes.
I was just thinking at the end there, because you're talking about the importance of association.
Yeah.
Sadhu Sangha, and how back in the day, this may be before your time, but you remember, Bob. At least I remember when I was in the stage when I was smoking marijuana every day. There was a stage like that. Luckily, it was a lot weaker marijuana than it is today. But we used to have this thing where even if you're not smoking, you'd be out in the park. It's not a question of even getting secondhand smoke, so to speak. But you get a contact high. Everyone around you is high and laughing and joking, and you're also getting into it because you're just with them, So, in the pure state, in other words, it's a perverted reflection of being in the association of devotees. You read throughout the CC how just Lord Chaitanya, he'd be dancing through the streets, and everyone who saw him and heard him, they're also getting love of God. They're showing symptoms of becoming ecstatic, just by the association, just by the power of his ecstasy. So that's happens too, even in a neophyte stage. If you're in like I'm just thinking, if of course Srila Prabhupada had that power, of people would see him even for the first time. They wouldn't even be devotees, and they would be so impressed. And he lit up the room, literally, that they would be attracted to learn more about Krishna consciousness. What to speak of, being in a kirtan with many, or a festival with many devotees chanting and dancing. It's very powerful preaching, to go out and to give people just your association, so that they're attracted to find out what's going on. So that's you're talking about that. On the other hand, we know that bad association can pull you down and pull you out. So that Sangha is so important. What you associate with, who you associate with.
Yeah, thank you. This reminds me of I was just reading in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya. He was going to Orissa, and there was this Pathan ruler, this Muslim ruler, and he was just a drunkard, and people were scared of him, and he was just a really bad guy. And one of his servants went disguised, because he had heard about Lord Chaitanya and his party, so that he went disguised, and he saw Lord Chaitanya, and he was amazed. And he went back to the Pathan ruler, and he said, I saw this person, this Hindu mendicant, and he's amazing. I was shocked. So he became this Pathan ruler, who was such a demon. Just by hearing his secretary speaking like that, he became attracted to get his darshan, Lord Chaitanya's darshan. Now, Lord Chaitanya, he had to cross this river, and the Vaisnava ruler there, he said, well, there's this king over there, so it's very difficult. We have to be very cautious, because he's very dangerous. And then he got word that this Pathan ruler wanted to actually get the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. He was like shocked. And he said, yeah, he's serious. He wants to see it. He's heard about this Lord Chaitanya. He wants to see him. So the Vaisnava leader, he said, well, all right, he can come, but only 6 or 7 followers, no weapons. And he was a little scared, yes, because he's such a low-class guy. So he came, and he paid dandavats to Lord Chaitanya. And he said, why have I been cursed to be a Muslim? Why? What bad karma? I can't get your association. He became Lord Chaitanya just gave him mercy. Just. So then he asked, "Is there any service I can do?" And so he just made all arrangements for Lord Chaitanya to go down the river and go. So Lord Chaitanya is very merciful, And therefore we have this Hare Krishna movement here because of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He started the Hare Krishna movement with the chanting of Hare Krishna. So actually this movement is a continuation of Lord Chaitanya's movement. It's just going to continue on for another, 9,500 or 9,500 years. So we're fortunate that we're part of this movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So any other comments or questions? Or Zoom? Anything on Zoom?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, we have 2 questions pending on the Zoom.
Okay.
Maitra Prabhu can go first.
Hare Krishna, Vijay Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
You mentioned something very interesting, which is that we're in a society of devotees, and to be encouraged, we require some recognition and some encouragement from our God brothers and God sisters. But at the same time, we understand pure devotion is not at all dependent on that. We have examples like Haridas Thakur and other great devotees, even Lord Chaitanya himself, who were not widely recognized. So I'm interested if you could say a few words about pure devotion. You can execute a life of pure devotion and get a higher taste and not be recognized by anyone and still go back to Godhead, and the need for encouragement within the society, and but then the concomitant dangers of pratishta and becoming puffed up.
Thank you. Very nice question. Yeah, it comes to the basics. That we're spirit soul. We're not the body. We may be able to do so many things in the service of Krishna, but there's one statement by Narada Muni who says that a devotee should cultivate utter humility with his thoughts, with his words, and his actions. And anything that gets in the way of that should be rejected. And another statement, he says that a devotee does not think that the actions that he does are his own actions, but they are expressions of Krishna's supreme mercy. So a devotee doesn't think that it's his ability, that it's his doing it, but it's just the mercy of Krishna. Just like when there's a reversal, a devotee thinks, well, I deserve this due to my past activities. Tatena kampang susamiksamano bunjane vatmakritam vipakam. He thinks, I deserve much worse. But Krishna's so kind, I just got this little reaction. And on the other side, he thinks, if there's some positive result, I'm able to do something, oh, Krishna's very kind. It's not my ability, but Krishna's so kind that he's allowed me to do this service. And people are praising me for this, but actually it's just the mercy of Krishna. It's Krishna's mercy. It's not my ability. The kindness of Krishna. So this is how we should feel. Because who are we? Like I said, we're very small. We live on the mercy of Krishna, and if there is some ability, some success, then it's simply the mercy of Krishna. And if we think it's our ability, then we run into trouble.
Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. What's your name? Maitreya. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Maitreya Das. Dharma Setu also knows me as Bhakti Tom. He's my Vartma Pradharshika guru.
Okay. Okay, very good. You have a very, very good Vartma Pradharshika guru there. Okay, there's another question.
Yes, there is another question. Vijay Prabhu, may I?
You sound familiar. Yes, you may.
Yes, Vijay Prabhu, thank you very much. You're very kind. Dandavat pranams, Prabhu. In accordance with the purport to text 23, Srila Prabhupada is establishing that even a Shudra should strive for becoming a Vaishnava. So based on this, my question is, as soon as the Shudra becomes a Vaishnava, what is the symptom that shows that he stopped being a Shudra and he became a Vaishnava? What is the symptom?
His Vaishnava qualities.
And what are these qualities, if I may ask?
Okay. That's class. It's class number 2. Javita says class number 2. But these are actually Prabhupada says that that everyone should aspire to become brahmanas. And Krishna explains the qualities of a brahmana: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, religiousness. These are the qualities of the brahmana. Everyone should develop these qualities. And if we could do that, then we don't have, of course, even higher than the brahmana is becoming a Vaishnava. And when one becomes a Vaishnava, the brahmana qualities are already there. So the goal is actually to become a Vaishnava. And us, most of us here, we were born lower than Sudras, Malechas, Yavanas. I mean, to call us a Sudra from before we get, that would be a compliment. That would be a compliment, because we were so low. But now, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, now there's so many wonderful Vaishnavas that are, it's just divine qualities. So this is the mercy of Krishna. Is that okay?
Oh, Prabhu, as to be expected, better than okay. Very helpful, brilliant answer to my question. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Javita has something further to say.
Yeah, well, if you'll allow me, because it's an editing thing, but it's important. It's really important. Within this second, you read so many verses. There was the quote of 932, Mami Parta Vipashritya, very famous verse. So after a lot of research, and this was Jayadvaita Maharaj wrote to us editors and said, well, there's real evidence that this translation is not exactly how Prabhupada intended to be. So if you allow me, how this no, this was some time ago, but this was in the works, and the latest printing of the softback, which you may be distributing now, has the revised translation, which is as Prabhupada first gave it when he dictated. So here's the new translation. O son of Prita, you can listen to the subtle differences. O son of Prita, those who take shelter in me, though they be low-born, women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as Shudras, workers, will attain the supreme destination. Not just, will attain the supreme destination. And not that, all Vaishyas, all are of lower birth, or all women of lower birth. Is Kunti of lower birth? Is Gandhari of lower birth? In other words, that thing of the overall category of lower birth, and I'm putting a 3 in, that was not what Prabhupada said. And also there's an extra sentence in the purport that supports this whole idea. So it's an important distinction. Number 1, low-born. 2, women. 3, Vaishyas. And 4, Shudras. 4 different categories. And that will attain, not can approach. You can see there's a difference there between attaining and approaching.
Oh yeah, okay.
You can read the sentence, you can see this.
When Hridayananda Maharaj was given a class in the Bay Area, UC Berkeley, he was starting this thing with the university. What was it called? It was some connection with the university. He was connecting with. He had ISKCON going in with the college there. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, he was giving a class, and one lady was there. She was like overseeing, what he's saying, because they're trying to connect with the university. So she was there, just observing what he was saying. So she said that she had read the Bhagavad Gita, and she read this verse that you think women are lower class, and he's brilliant. He said actually this explains that Now, she was a spiritual person, so that if you think you're a woman, then you're lower class. If you understand you're not a woman, you're a soul, then you're much more elevated than the males who think they're their bodies. So she was okay. There was another interesting thing that happened not much long after that. There was different groups that were considered to be cult members. You know, the Mormons and the Hare Krishnas, and I don't know, over the others, Scientology. There's a whole group of them. Yeah. So they were trying to make it so they're more respected. Trying to make it so they're more seen in society as respected. So Hridayananda Maharaj is speaking. And there was a good number of people there. There was maybe about 20 devotees, and a good number of others, non-devotees, were there. And one lady asked Hridayananda Maharaj, "So what do you do if someone wants to leave?" And he said, "We kill him." It was a joke. Everybody just cracked up. I mean, except for that one lady. She's like, it's just the way he said it. The way he said it was just so funny, So, Srila Prabhupada ki